Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity and practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, so now welcome back to the Reframing Mindset podcast. Now, my name is Colin Smith Brooks. Hello. Uh, This episode is going to be talking about some books that I've read, and I recommend to you, if you have listened to the podcast and you have heard my success or whatever, you, these books may not be the direct cause of those success, but after reading those books, I see the value of other people reading it. So I'm just going to recommend it now, so you that is on your journey to success can read it and have an idea of how you want to talk because you're a good business book and hustling book and stuff like that, mhm. So the first one is The Goal Giver, which is a book written by Bob Berg and John David Mann. And it was one of the book recommended by one of my previous guests, Oshin Pantan. And it's basically the book is basically 5 rules for stratospheric success. And the rule is basically the plot of the book is basically a story of a man that meets a very rich or successful person. And the person is just basically giving him explaining him the rules that he used to acquire such success. And it's basically 5 rules. And the thing about it is when he teaches him each rule, the condition is he has to use that rule the same day, or by the next time they meet. So basically it was 5 rules, 5 simple rules, are rules, 5 unorthodox rules that when you actually see understand how why each rule is important, it makes sense as to how the success will be stratospheric by you applying all these rules. That's the first book I recommend, The Goal Giver. hmm The second book is Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter by um 50 Cent. I know 50 Cent is a rapper, a business mogul, a movie producer, and stuff like that. And I think that book um, is a very good book to read, as it gives the insight and um. Alright, so his success. So his in 50 Cent, his success is as a black person and in America is above, way above average. And the reason from the book and thing, yeah, understand that the reason for his success is he evolves at each level. He learns from his mistakes and he evolves from the stereotypical, he evolves from his first level of success. So, for example, a first level of success would have brought him from X to Y, and it was good and all and thing. But he, and that was because due to hard work and maybe talent and stuff like that. But the next level of success was him thinking, him making more strategic decisions and doing things differently to reach the next level of success. And each level of his success is basically him explain how he went from basically a kid on the block, a kid on the block hustling like the typical New Yorker, you know, to becoming a very smart, hustling smarter and using his time more efficiently and making more money doing by using by putting his energy in key areas where he needs his attention to reach that level of success. And it also talks about on his rise the reason why the people he came up with did not reach his level of success. So he talk about the various pitfalls of the people that he was trying to bring up with him to get rich with and stuff like that. And it's very interesting because you will learn that when you're on your road to success, you may want to bring people with you and stuff like that. But if they're not in the mindset to get rich, they will actually bring you down. They actually they actually bring their bad habits. They bring their bad habits with them. And it was explained, and it's a perfect book to explain that as he 50 Cent was basically a hustler. We call it the like them people that sell anything. I don't really want to say what he sold, no, but you know, but he was one of those people. And what happened was when he got his success by rapping and stuff like that, and then he started bringing people out of the hood or the place that he grew up from and things and start bring them to very more affluent rich places. The their mentality that they have from the hood is still there. So they weren't really transitioning and evolving like how 50 Cent was. So it's a good book for you to read to see the how to really evolve your mentality when you reach a new level of success to and things that you have to look out for. And one of uh, additional caveat is that 50 Cent and his rise and thing got shot and thing because of jealousy or whatever it was. So it also speaks about how he came back from that, came back from being shot and stuff like that, and why. Yeah, yeah. So it's a very good book. It's a very real person book to read for you to understand how to come grow and come back from being down or start from the bottom to get somewhere. So okay, so I have that book now. So I have the next book, Zero to One by Peter Thiel. So Peter Thiel is I think a billionaire as such. He was a co-founder of PayPal. And PayPal was and the PayPal majority of its employee when PayPal was sold to eBay, when eBay bought PayPal, majority of the employee from the PayPal um team separated to build their own company, were bi- which is valued at $1 billion for each of them that went out and built their own thing. So you have Elon Musk which was one of the employees, which basically made Tesla, SpaceX, and you have somebody that made one of the employer went on to make YouTube, another one went on to make LinkedIn, another one and made Yelp and etc. And what the book is basically talk about is what he think is the what you think are the key things you need to do to start a very successful business to thrive to, and not a successful business like your mama you start up a little um thing and it's going great and you said it's talking about building a $1 billion business, $1 billion profitable business and thing and it's basically from his experience and seeing how after PayPal all his him these colleagues go on to build these very billion dollar businesses. He gives his core idea as to why all those businesses valued so much and is is a very um valued so much and why they were successful. Yeah. So that's it for that book, and it's a very good book to read. I suggest the audiobook, because that's how I actually read that one. Also, the Hustle Smarter, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. It's the audiobook I actually read. So listen to, I should say. So and the last one now, so far, which I read almost every day, and thing, is the Bible. Yeah, the Bible is one of those great books to read, and the reason is because it's it's real life. If you get what I mean, it's one of those central books that every person needs to actually take in a verse or something every day. It teaches you how how great kings fall, how great kingdom fall, how great kingdom become great kingdom, how financial literacy, how to be wise. The book teaches you everything. Teach you to you know, and it's a great way. And you reading it and becoming wiser from reading it every day, you are less likely to be swayed from people that come with false teachings and false doctrines and stuff like that. So you by you reading it and you hear some people coming and giving you false hope or stuff like that, you can say, oh yeah. Because majority great nations, America, if you're when a president a person become president in America, what they do, they got sworn in by touching the Bible. So even the most powerful person in the world has has to have high regard of the Bible. So it makes sense for you to actually learn the content of the book that the the most powerful person in the world, the President of America, used to get sworn into their office. It only makes sense. So that's my and how I think you should the Bible, yeah, because it's not an easy thing to read by yourself. I think before you start reading it by yourself, I think you need someone else, maybe an elder person or something like that, that is, more passionate about the Bible and love talk about the stories and things. Someone to introduce it to it and explain the origin and the core concept so you can actually go out and branch off yourself. Because the Bible, how I started to understand it better and thing was through my grandmother. My grandmother usually read it every day, pray every day, every night and stuff like that. So talking to her and how she always say, "Oh, must pray and give my heart to God" and stuff like that. Listening to her and how she is passionate about it, you kind of hear some of the great stories of it in the Bible, and makes you get, which makes you get interested in reading the Bible. So that so have getting somebody that is uh, passionate about the Bible to introduce it to the great stories of the Bible will actually pique your interest into it and then give you the motivation to actually go in and start search the contents for yourself. Mhm. Yeah, so that's it for this episode. And look forward for the next episode.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Colin Smith Brooks. I know this episode is a very, very interesting episode. It's me stepping out of my normal zone again to do something different, and this time it's me becoming I'm one of those people that review music, those people that I said before that they're not a really a good indicator to why you should listen to music, because they're getting paid. That's their job. I'm becoming them, I'm becoming one of them just for the fun of it. Because I listen to music a lot, and I said, and it's a good way to make some content, and I say it only makes sense. So the first album now that I'll be reviewing is Alkaline Top Prize album. Alkaline is a dancer artist and thing.